Silverton Siege explained 3 freedom fighters, 1 bank, and a movement that brought Nelson Mandela out of prison. Pretoria, South Africa, 1980. Under the harsh, unyielding eye of apartheid, 3 young freedom fighters make a desperate move that would shake a nation. Their mission? Sabotage. But what starts as a covert operation ends in a high-stakes hostage situation and becomes a turning point in the fight to free Nelson Mandela. This is the true story behind Silverton Siege, a rebellion turned revolution. Based on real events, Silverton Siege is more than just a thriller. It reimagines the fateful day when 3 members of Umkhonto we Sizwe, the armed wing of the ANC, find themselves cornered in a Pretoria bank, with the apartheid police hot on their heels. Calvin Khumalo, Aldo Erasmus, and Terence the Trio are young black South Africans raised in the brutal shadow of racial segregation. Their mission was to sabotage a power plant, but when they're betrayed and their plan fails, they flee guns blazing and seek refuge in a bank on Silverton Road. They don't just hold the bank, they hold the attention of an entire country. Inside the bank, fear and desperation collide. White hostages, black rebels, a room filled with anger, confusion, and history. But the demands of the siege aren't for money. They want one thing: the release of Nelson Mandela. At this point, Mandela had already been imprisoned for 18 years. His name, though feared by the regime, was becoming a symbol of hope across the globe. The trio knew they couldn't escape, so instead they turned the world's eyes toward the injustice. Free Mandela, or we all die in here. As the siege intensifies, negotiators, snipers, and journalists circle the building. But inside, something powerful is happening. The hostages begin to understand their captors. Fear turns to sympathy. One hostage even refuses to leave, and that was Kristen, the daughter of the then Prime Minister, who saw through the actions of the trio to be of good course. The highlight of the danger came when Kristen decided to help the trio by speaking to the office in charge to release Nelson Mandela. She was gunned down by a sniper. Even being white couldn't save her, because being racist was more than just a skin color. It was a disease. Meanwhile, the young rebels wrestle with morality, guilt, and sacrifice. They didn't want to kill, they wanted to be heard. And in those final hours, they forced South Africa and the world to listen. The Silverton Siege ends in tragedy. The 3 freedom fighters are gunned down, refusing to surrender. Their deaths, however, are not in vain. The demand to free Nelson Mandela echoed across international headlines. It reignited